and people helped the animal free its foot, and this is how it thanked them.
Off he goes. Bye, 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 bye.
This pigeon nearly drowned during a flood and risked approaching a human to save itself from water. When you've lost all hope and accepted your fate, but then someone comes to your aid. This puppy lost consciousness during a fire, and this firefighter brought it back to life with CPR. During a wedding, one of the guests saw that a dog needed help, so he came to the animal's aid. Later, he was joined by another person, and finally the dog was saved. Looks like this wedding had an extra +1 added to the guest list. And this girl sacrificed a pipe to free a bird.
Oh my God.
A black mamba slithered under the hood of the car when it was trying to escape people throwing rocks at it. But this fearless guy got the snake out and released it back to freedom the very next day. And this person barely managed to pull the sheep out. And then, thank you to this kind man who gave water to a hedgehog dying from thirst. This bear's head got stuck in a fuel can, and it took 10 pairs of hands to take it off. Now, the most important part is to quickly run away. This tiny dog was following people and begging for help. Its back legs weren't moving, most likely due to being hit by a car. After an examination, it was clear the dog will never walk properly again. But people still kept the puppy, caring for it and letting it heal. And this is what it looks like now. A pregnant goat got stuck in the middle of a cliff, and the rescue squad is trying to catch it with a net. When suddenly, thankfully, people were ready for such a situation. The goat landed into the net, and both she and her baby were saved. A man noticed a small goldfinch in the street. The bird couldn't move because its feathers were covered in ice. The man brought the goldfinch home, where he warmed the bird back up and released it. This orangutan fell into a moat when it was trying to reach the food thrown by the zoo visitors. A zookeeper heroically dove after the animal and was eventually able to get the orangutan to dry land and give it first aid. This blind camel was wandering through the desert in search of water for a long time. And this man came up with a way to give it water by luring the animal near a large bowl using sounds of water. This Ukrainian soldier risked his life to evacuate a hamster left in a village that was hit with missiles. This is why we need traffic police. This man freed an owl tangled up in a net. The bird's expression really conveys how happy it is. These people in Iceland rescued young puffins that came down from the mountains in search of food and couldn't fly back. The locals managed to capture them, take them to the mountains, and release them. It took the entire village to pull an elephant calf out of a well. They even got an excavator. People decided to dig a tunnel so that the animal could climb out of its trap, and they even treated the elephant's wound. And finally, compassionate people called police to save a dog that was left in a locked car in a 90-degree heat. The animal spent several hours in the car and was close to death, but the police came right in time, giving the dog first aid and then taking it to a clinic. People heard a small blinded kitten crying and decided to help. They cleaned its eyes, gave it medicine, fed the poor animal, and made sure it was warm. Now look at it a few days later. Proper care makes a huge difference. Two young elephants got really stuck in a drying reservoir after coming there to drink some water. Just look how much effort it took to get the animals out. And finally, this newborn zebra already got into trouble. It got into the water and started to drown. Thankfully, it happened when there were people close by, so they managed to pull it out of the water almost straight away. And this guinea pig was rescued from a demolished building by a Ukrainian rescue squad after missile attacks. This parrot was born with a defect affecting its legs and feet. It couldn't walk or stand, but thanks to this guy's support and regular training sessions he developed specifically for his bird, their team found success. A cat got stuck in a small crack between two walls and was begging for help. They had to break down one of the walls to get the poor animal out.
Okay, here we go, video, So happy.
The firefighters pulled 5 puppies out of a burning factory, but the animals were unconscious. They needed a heart massage and some cold water to come back to life, and their mother was able to see her babies safe and sound. Sometimes animals really need our help, like these puppies, for example, or this baby elephant, and so many more. Today, we will show you the most incredible cases when animals entrusted themselves to people when they were in need. This man is rescuing his dog left on a sailboat during Hurricane Ian, reaching 40 miles per hour. Tourists noticed a dolphin stuck in shallow water, so they release it back to the open sea. This guy is risking his life to help a dog that fell out of a window and was basically trapped on an AC unit. Take a look. The dog clearly understands what to do. Thankfully, this story had a happy ending. This sugar glider got stuck on the barbed wire. Even though the little guy was fighting and biting, this person was able to help the animal and even treat its wounds.
Go on, mate. Go!
And here boys are rescuing a dog from a huge snake, risking their own life in the process. Just imagine the force with which the snake squeezes its prey. Frankly, I am amazed how calm the dog was. Clearly, it trusted its saviors, and that trust pays off. Look at the state these 5 donkeys were in due to being exposed to the elements. Fortunately, people quickly saw them and came to their aid. Thanks to them, the animals are safe. These firefighters saved 150 piglets from a burning farm. This guy noticed a strange bag in the river. When he opened it up, He learned that this was a result of someone being extremely cruel. The puppy was barely breathing, but thankfully they managed to bring the poor animal back to life, and now it's safe and sound. This guy is helping a snake that tried to climb through a hole that turned out to be too small for it. These firefighters pulled a cat out of a burning house, and now the rescue team is trying to bring it back to life using an oxygen mask. This man decided to free the wolf even though the animal tried to bite him several times. But at least it looks like the wolf felt bad once it was rescued. A young elephant fell into a drain, and people couldn't figure out how they could help. Even an excavator couldn't manage it. Then they decided to break the concrete around the drain using hammers and chisels, and they finally succeeded. Turns out the baby elephant broke its leg, so it was taken to a rehabilitation center to heal and be released later. And this iguana got caught in a wire fence, which left it hanging upside down. First, it had to be removed from the fence, and then the remaining wire that wrapped around the animal's body, neck, and feet had to be cut off. A 2-year-old foal named Xena was in a terrible state when she was found, completely exhausted to the point it could not stand up. This gave her a second chance. And this guy saved a hawk from drowning. In exchange, the bird was happy to pose for a photo with him. This bull fell into a water tank, and the rescue required heavy machinery. In Turkey, a cat voluntarily came to a hospital to get help for its broken leg. It remained remarkably calm during X-rays and a cast application. Funnily enough, when it got better, it stayed nearby. This person helped a bird get its beak out of a tree, and it looks like the bird is very surprised by the way it's looking around. And here is a rescue of a manatee cub that couldn't properly breathe underwater. Now it lives in a rehabilitation center where it's being observed by specialists.
I saw a distressed plover hanging around a drain.
A grown plover bird was loudly asking for help because one of its babies fell into the drain. This girl pulled it out, dried it in her car, and returned it to its mother safe and sound.
Starting to look a little bit more lively now.
Come over to your baby.
Reunited at last.
Watch me rescue a horseshoe crab.
I wonder if this clam realized, just look at this insane height. But that won't stop this guy from moving the bird's nest to a safe space. A duck nearly fell prey to a python. But as luck would have it, people came to the bird's aid and left the python without dinner. This armadillo must have been very thirsty. This is its second bottle of water. A foal was in trouble when it got stuck in a tree. It's a good thing that people found it and set it free. This puppy was found in a landfill, inside a tied plastic bag, and it was in very bad shape, literally on the brink of death. But in just a week, it transformed to this, all thanks to a person's kindness. This coyote fell into the water and was begging for help with its eyes. People wrapped a rope around it, brought it aboard, delivered it to dry land, and had to struggle through untying the rope before the animal could be set free. There you go.
Так, ну що, давай його несемо на...
Tourists spotted the small dolphin stranded in an estuary and released it back into the sea. And this is a rescue mission, removing a lizard from set concrete. It's a painstaking job, but at least the animal was all right in the end.
Oh, sweetie.
This dog came to people with a snake wrapped around its snout, and the man put himself at risk to help the poor animal. But thankfully, this ended well for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Glad it wasn't a rattlesnake.
Oh my god.
When a girl noticed this cat in the forest, it was frightened and looked really rough. Nonetheless, the cat let her move it from its hiding place. It took over 2 months to bring the animal back to life, but this is what it looks like now. This bear cub had a paw stuck in a tree, and its sibling stayed right there, even trying to chew through the branch. Thankfully, a rescue team came right in time. And this person rescued a tortoise from an army of leeches using lime juice. It doesn't harm the tortoise, but it's great for repelling leeches. And here, a Ukrainian soldier is pulling a puppy from a hole it fell into. Now that's what I call teamwork. And this fearless man risked his life to save a cobra that climbed into a motorcycle engine. Insects also approach people for help. Look at this praying mantis. It's not even scared.
Here you go. Here you go. Just run that way. This way.
This guy tried to explain to a deer how to get off the highway. And he succeeded.
Atta boy. Jump over.
Well, almost. Now he did.
Yes! Oh, live on another day.